Once again, viewer discretion is advised. Everything in this video is alleged. The video you just saw is sad. It not only shows lack of humanity, and when you find out what led to this, it's disturbing. Anthony Don Mitchell, 33 years old, called Tony by family and friends. A family member was concerned about Tony. He was insinuating harming himself. In other words, he was displaying paranoia and delusions. He wanted a welfare check done, a mental evaluation on the family member. Tony has had issues in the past with mental and physical health. He also has had run-ins with the law with controlled substances. The police stopping to check on him was supposed to be a good thing. When deputies arrived to his home near Carbon Hill, Tony was in front of the yard of the residence. It's alleged he immediately pulled a gun out and fired at least one shot at deputies and ran into nearby woods. Immediately, a SWAT unit, patrol, narcotics, and investigative divisions, and Sheriff Smith and others were en route to the scene. Tony would be found later in a shed in the woods. Deputies recovered methamphetamines, heroin, and the handgun. Tony was arrested for attempted murder on January 12th. His mugshot was shared off Walker County Facebook page unedited, with black spray paint all over his face over 100 times. His picture was shared with a mixture of comments, some not so nice. People who didn't know Tony or his situation and didn't care to. But to the ones that knew Tony, they were in shock, which later would turn to outrage. That wasn't the Tony that they knew. The nice, caring, funny, animal lover, Tony. For those who hadn't seen him in a while, Tony had lost 100 pounds. Someone that knew him well said he looked tired and haggard. Tony was going through something, and this was nothing to make fun of. Placed naked, isolated, on a concrete floor, written in a lawsuit. Quote, numerous correction officers and medical staff wandered over to his open cell door to spectate and be entertained at his condition, end quote. Tony would end up with hypothermia. In reports, it was saying that he was frozen. He had froze to death, a body temperature dangerously low, and that his organs were shutting down. Some form of detoxing was said, more like inhumane treatment and entertainment. It's believed that he was placed in the walk-in jail freezer as punishment, or some area of the jail with frigid conditions, and left there for hours. The family was told when he left the facility, he was, quote, alert and conscious, end quote. But we know that that was not the case. He wasn't even moving. On January 26, 2023, Mitchell was taken to Walker Baptist Center. His body temperature with hypothermia was very low. Receiving delayed medical attention, he was pronounced dead. Correctional Officer Karen Kelly was the one who recorded the last images of Tony while police was transporting him. Former Officer Kelly was fired after showing the conditions of what Tony went through while he was in jail. She has filed a First Amendment lawsuit. Anthony Don Mitchell. Tony. Tony's family has filed a wrongful death suit against Sheriff Nick Smith and the other jail personnel. Rest in peace, Tony Mitchell. Justice for Tony.